Okay, great. We are live this time. So, welcome to Wisdom to Wealth. Bit of technical difficulties there. Thank you for tuning in and joining us. I am your host, Whitney Hammond, owner of Sovereign Wealth Management. Whether you are just getting started in your investment life, looking to manage your money yourself, or work closely with a financial advisor, Wisdom to Wealth discussions will provide a roadmap to your life, the one you want and deserve. Our mission here is to teach you how to gain control of your money so that your money doesn't take control of you. Today, we have a special guest, Jim Ruta from AdvisorCraft. Many of you know Jim. He is an icon in our industry, and I'm so happy to have you, Jim. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Whitney. It's great to be with you.
It is. And I just want to say, I absolutely adore you. I love following you. I love what you do. I love your message. And for both of us, we've been in the industry for decades. And I think both of us will be in the industry probably for about 60 years. So I'm so happy to be able to have you here today and have this open discussion. So let's just get started. I wanted to have a discussion around guaranteed wealth building. How important is building guaranteed wealth?
Whitney, if there's a real big lesson from the pandemic, I think, and there's many, of course, but if the real big lesson to me is that a financial reserve that you can count on is not a nice to have thing, it's a necessity. I think that this pandemic over the last 11 months or so has really proven that. And that's the real big deal. And it's probably not the nominal 3 to 6 month thing that insurance agents and financial advisors have been telling their clients over the years either. It's probably a 12 to 24 month reserve of cash that you can access that you really need in this business. You see, we need this as consumers to avoid job uncertainty and income uncertainty and health uncertainty and future lifestyle uncertainty and market uncertainties. See, I think we want to replace this essential financial insecurity that exists at times like this with the peace of mind we want, and that equals quality of life. Peace of mind equals quality of life. And that reserve is a big part of that. So to me, there's no better place than guaranteed wealth. I really think you really need like a big piggy bank somewhere that you can just count on all the time. Whitney?
Yeah, absolutely. So you know what? These go back to the messages that we learned from our parents. So, that saying, saving for a rainy day, making sure that you have this nest egg. And, in 2020, or let's say for the last decade, the world has been so different with these low interest rates and, I can just go and grab cash and, there's money flowing all the time. Why would I ever need to do that? We're all crazy about the stock market. And so we should carry on with that, right? But somewhere along the line, there has to be that guaranteed nest egg, that bomb shelter that our parents taught us about. So yes, we lived in fear, right? But it's no different because people are living in fear today. Before COVID, they were already living in fear because am I gonna outlive my money? Am I gonna pay too much taxes? Am I this? Am I that? Like, people are just always worried. And exactly what you were just talking about, Jim, is by taking control of, I know I'm going to be okay because of A, B, C, D, and E. And that's what's really important. And that's actually what you are talking about. So when everything went helter skelter in last March, because March 2020, it was helter skelter because all of a sudden the banks were closed, the restaurants were closed, I don't know about the TTC, you might have been able to get on it, but everything was closed and no one knew what was coming. So we had an economic tsunami in 2008 and everyone was like, holy crap, the world's coming to an end. But, every time we have these things that happen, they're not predicted. This was not a predicted. I mean, who would ever think that in this day and age that the whole world would shut down? So that's exactly what we were faced with. Those of us who had the bomb shelter were okay. So my next question is, in your experience, is there a place to do this that maximizes guarantees, benefits, and payouts?
Yeah, I think there really is, and it's not really a new idea either. There really is a place, and I call it a cash for life plan, because I think there's some things that if you understand the financial world like you do, that there are some things that prudent investors can do, they need to do in order to get them that bomb shelter that you always talk about. And I love that line, Whitney. It's a great piece. See, I think there's a way to do things with life insurance that can make a big difference. You see, you can be the beneficiary of your own life insurance policy while you're still alive because of the unique construction of that product and how it's built actuarially, the tax exemptions the government gives it, and all the economic values that it has. These are things, it's a unique piece of financial property. Cash value life insurance, which of course some people poo-poo, but these, not the people who've got it, I'll tell you, ever, not them. But here's a product that returns every dollar you deposit plus interest. It grows tax-free, only grows in value, can never lose value. You can access the money tax-free. It grows tax-free. It pays your survivors tax-free money. Like, it's an extraordinary piece of property that if you understand, as you do, as I do, as many of see, this is one of the secrets of the rich and famous. The people who really have had money. I mean, there was only a Disneyland because of cash value life insurance policies when a guy like, Walt Disney went to his New York life insurance policies back in the early 50s to create Disneyland in California. That's the kind of value it really has. You see, cash value life insurance as a non-correlated fixed income asset, for those of you who are looking for some, financial talk, is a foundational asset that supports your financial planning. It supports all the products. It guarantees financial planning. It is an extraordinary piece of financial property that so many clients would do well to consider as part of their overall plan. Whitney?
Absolutely. So what I love about permanent cash value life insurance, and you are right, there has been over time, people will poo-poo it, and that's fine. They can, because they don't understand it. That's fine. But the thing is, let's talk about me. Let's talk about how it works for me, my wealth. So I've been a policy holder since I was 15 years old. It's one of the greatest things I own.
Yeah.
In fact, it's probably the greatest thing I own. Inside my insurance policies, I have $2 million of cash value. That grows every year at 4%. Do the math. While I'm sleeping at night, or I'm away on the beach or something, I'm making $80,000 for doing squat. And that money compounds. Okay. So people can say, oh, I can get 15% in the stock market. Yeah, so can I, because I have a lot more money. I just only put that much over there. And what happens is compounding is one of the 8 wonders of the world, because compounding is powerful, because you make money on top of money on top of money. How smart is that? And the lesson that I learned was something that my dad taught me when I was a child. He said, watch the have-nots and watch the haves. He said, watch the people that are leveraged and watch the people with the big mouths. He said, the ones that are the quietest are the ones that put their nose to the grind. They work really hard. They build significant wealth, and they know how to transfer it in an effective way. So interestingly enough, that $2 million nest egg that I have pushes out $14 million of life insurance. So somebody could say, well, why the hell do you need that? Well, because I've got all sorts of assets. I've got 3 holding companies. I've got an operating company. I have an airplane. What if I had an accident? Do you think that if that these people that have plane accidents never get sued? Wrong. They get sued by every single opportunity that there is. And I know that because I know people that have had small plane crashes. So there's very many reasons. But the big thing about it is, like what Bruce Etherington says, it creates lifeboats and legacies.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, it's a very good point. For me, the nobility in my family will have to begin with me. My dad, when he passed away, God rest him, some almost 9 years ago now, he left me a little change purse with 35 silver quarters and 10 silver dimes. That was pretty much my dad's legacy to me. And that'll never see the bank or anything else. It's just a gift from my dad. So what I want, though, is the legacy from me to be something different. So I have millions of dollars worth of life insurance as well to pass that on. So the nobility in my family begins with me. But it's bigger than that, because the cash value in those contracts that I've got will allow me to spend money and then still pass it on to my family when I'm gone, so that my two daughters and my son will and my wife will reap those benefits of the things I wanted to do, the legacy I want to leave. And it's an extraordinary benefit of a contract. You talked about at the beginning about benefits and payoffs. I mean, this is a way to do a number of things where $1 can do the work of many dollars. It's a reserve if you lose your job. It can be a reserve if you need to stay out of long-term care. Who wants to go to long-term care anymore? I mean, you want everything you can to stay safe and stay on your own. So the real question when you're building up this reserve is, how much value do you want to build up for your family, for the future? How much value do you want to build up? And you think about it that way, Whitney, it's simply this, because you see, every dollar you put in, you get back. And then some. You were talking about, how fast your money grows and it compounds at 4%. I was having a discussion with our friend George Sigurdsson the other day. We were on the phone for 45 minutes, and he said to me, Jimmy, I think that in the last 45 minutes, my cash value has gone up $3,000.
I love it.
Where do you get that kind of security? And you were talking at the beginning about guaranteed wealth.
Yeah.
What about wealth that just makes you feel good, where you never have to worry about whether you're going to have, hey, what will my account be? I can phone my insurance agent and say, hey, how's my money? It's the same as yesterday, only bigger, just bigger. The market went down, it's going up. This is an extraordinary opportunity to build guaranteed wealth with unbelievable payoffs, extraordinary benefits. But mostly the benefit to me that I see, and that I work with advisors, and I talk to clients about the same thing when I do, a public event, is to say, goodness, think about that peace of mind you've got when you don't have to wait for a CERB and worry about whether it gets clawed back or worry about anything. Yes. You know that your account is growing every year, tax-free, can never go down in value unless you take some money out, and it keeps on growing, it keeps on compounding. Whitney, it's an extraordinary way to build guaranteed wealth.
Love it. Absolutely love it. And so it's the only investment instrument in the world that is guaranteed to do one thing, and that is to go up from here up to here, age 100. The cash value has to equal the death benefit. It's right in the contract. So it's not based on stock markets. It's not based on returns. It's not based on hypotheses. This is a guaranteed contract. So, and you're right, talking about comfort, when mid-March did come around, I thought for a second, man, because I'm in the stock market. I mean, managing like enormous book of business, not only clients, but myself. And I'm thinking, holy crap, what's going to happen to all of this? And then the little light bulb goes on. It says, you know what? You've got that bomb shelter. So no matter what happens, you always have the bomb shelter. Just a quick comment here to business owners. Okay, because I'm an incorporated business owner, and we know that our whole tax scheme changed. Anytime so as we're saving money in our incorporations as our retained earnings, we are paying tax at the top tax rate for our investments. So between 50,000 of passive income to 150,000 of passive income in 1 year is all you're allowed. Once you go over that 150, you have lost your small business deduction, meaning that your 15% tax rate has now gone away. You do not have that anymore. Your corporate income tax will double that year. Business owners flock to put money in permanent cash value life insurance policies, because as those contracts grow, they do not push out any type of tax receipt. So taxable income receipt. Yeah. It is sheltered. This is a fabulous way to preserve protect, grow your wealth. And if you don't spend it, all that cash inside your corporation is taxable when you pass away anyway. So you might as well shelter it inside a contract that won't attract tax when you pass away. The thing is if your advisor is not talking to you about this, it's because they don't know. And the thing is, with advisors, we can have multiple advisors, but it's really important to speak to somebody that owns it, that has a good wealth foundation. You do, I do, we get it. We've been around for decades, and we're more than willing to help. So, Jim, I just want to give you the last word here.
Well, I just want to say one last thing about this. I think a real value. You mentioned business owners, you mentioned this sort of thing and liabilities. Remember, this is also a contract. This is all my cash for life plan that I'm talking about here is creditor proof and predator proof. And I love that last part, creditor and predator. And it's a big deal. And it goes all to that building guaranteed wealth in that bomb shelter that nobody can destroy for you. It's an extraordinary thing, Whitney. It's great to be with you.
Fabulous to be with you. So talking about lifeboats and legacies, that's not our term. We've taken that from Bruce Etherington, who's also an icon in this business. So I just want to finish off with one thing. I encourage advisors, because I've been around for a long time, 25 years. I encourage all advisors to get themselves with a great financial coach. Jim is one. I highly recommend him, and he's available at advisorcraft.com. So we will see you again. Keep your questions coming in, and have an awesome day and build wealth, because we all want to succeed together. Take care.
God bless. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.